Where did this video come from, Dave?
It was Charlie and Harry with an actor named Doug Walker.
Yes.
So I don't know if you're familiar. Some people are familiar. I don't know how they are. But anyhow, yeah. So he actually auditioned for a different role, and this is what happened.
Kill the house lights.
Sonic, scene 16A, take 1.
Okay, so I'm Robot Nick, and I'm chasing after, who am I chasing after?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog, okay. Sonic, you hedgehog, I am chasing after you. Why am I chasing a hedgehog? Sonic, you blue hedgehog. Why is he blue?
That's just his natural color.
Are hedgehogs naturally blue? Is it like a thing I didn't know, or it's
just a design.
Okay. Okay, and he's foiling my plans?
Yes.
So, what'd I do? Did I kidnap the princess and, like, you know, keep her in a castle and stuff like that?
No, you're trying to turn animals into robots.
Why am I doing that? So, I captured the princess from the world of robots, and the robots are happy because she didn't do anything, because, you know, she's the princess. They never do anything. But they always get... There's no... Okay, put a princess in this. And maybe make, instead of a blue hedgehog, because that's really weird, I see, I don't know, some sort of Italian with like a blue collar job, and, you know, who has a thing for destroying things with shells, bloodies their corpses. Sonic! Blue hedgehog, you come here and stop foiling my plans to turn a farm of animals into robot. This is really stupid.
16A, take 2.
Sonic, you come here, or I will infiltrate your robotic world with Happy Meals, because I am Ronald McDonald's evil brother, and, right, that's what, I mean, that's why he wears this, right, because he's Ronald McDonald's evil brother. Well, why does it, I mean, I guess I'm just not feeling it. I look like Morpheus in Band, and it's very confusing to me. The ruler of all evil, and the robot, he dresses like the Golden Arches and everything.
Sonic, scene 16A, take 8.
Alright. Action.
I have no idea what to do with these.
Those are Chaos Emeralds.
What are Chaos Emeralds?
Jewels that give you ultimate power. They're ancient.
When they give me ultimate chaos? I mean, when they make more sense. Well, they're called chaos. When they be like power emeralds or something like that. I mean, the idea of spreading chaos doesn't automatically mean power. I mean, if you want chaos, just go to this film shoot. I mean, this film shoot is chaos because I'm chasing a little Happy Meal character that's running around and I'm trying to catch it. It makes no goddamn sense. Haha! I got the chaos jewels and I will turn you all into... Really? This is all I'm looking for? I mean, it just seems like... Does he see 3D if he goes like this? Is that the idea of it? I mean, actually, that's pretty cool.
Sonic, scene 16A, take 12.
I am the Russian Rutabaga. I will find you and do all sorts of terrible things to you, like strap you to table and have lasers that chop off your balls. If he does he have balls? Give him balls. Ha, Sonic! It's of making you go slower. We will slow you down in here.
Haha, Sonic. Now we have you in our grasp. Would you like a sponsor tea?
It's my British. I bet you thought I was British there for a second, but it's not. It's just me.
Haha, Sonic. Now by Big Ben, we will take a crumpet and...
What else do British people do?
Yes, Sonic, once Mobius is in ashes, you have my permission to die. Then you will never rescue the princess from my castle.
Not working.
You know what?
You know, I don't like the glasses anyway. I think maybe we should put Castle back here, because Bowser never wore glasses. I think we should put Castle... Get Castle back up there.
Alright, yeah, we'll put a castle up there.
Okay, is it there now?
Yeah, it's there.
Awesome. Okay, so I am now Bowser, and... What the hell am I even chasing? You know, you say it's a blue hedgehog. It's very abstract and hard to get a concept of. I mean, can I see this thing? Can I see what this stupid thing looks like?
Show him the hedgehog.
Do I have a reference model? I want to be this guy.
Hey, kids, if a stranger comes up to you and wants to fuck you in the ass, that's no good.
Oh, what? He said that? I mean, okay, not those exact words, but I'm spreading a good message. I don't think you guys understand Sonic at all. Luigi, come on! We have to save the princess!
Not Mario Brothers.
It's Mario Bros. Come on, Sonic Mario Brothers, okay? Come on, we're going to save a big the bold Bowser and the golden coins. That's all they were in the game, right? I'm feeling Smurf blackface. Is anyone else feeling that? There, the Oompa Loompas are gonna roll me any second. I don't know. I say go with it.
Doug, I don't think this is gonna work.
Oh, come on, I haven't even gotten to the PSA about climbing inside a dryer yet. Oh, you know, fine. Go ahead. Cast someone else. I mean, who the hell are you gonna get to replace me? Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna be in the Crash movie!
So, weirdly enough, I would say a nice chunk of that was essentially us, right beforehand, when he arrived, we knew we wanted to do a secondary project with him.
Yep.
And, because he was going to shoot his very brief Sonic cameo, and he threw the jacket on while we were just talking in your editing room, and then he just started going off on Robotnik. And a lot of the bits were in that.
He just took the jacket and put it on and just started going. So Eddie's like, I'm gonna go set up the green screen.
That's literally, we went and got the bald cap and all the other stuff, and that's what we shot. And
We found all that stuff at Party City.
the original cut for this was 25 minutes of him just doing what he does, but we cut it down to a more digestible 6 minutes.
Yeah, that was.
He did a lot of Banes.
Oh my god. Me Baines.
But yes, I hope to do more of him because this was very fun. And when you let Doug go loose, so.
He needs to come out.
We actually talked about that. You know, it's.
We tried. We didn't let him go until he promised, but then once he left, he just ran really far away.
He's definitely aware of MagFest and how big it gets. So I know he has, other con commitments that kind of. Yeah, and I know he has another selection of cons at the end of the year that he's been tied with even before that guy with the glasses people got, involved in MagFest. So I'm hoping he comes because he's aware and he knows that it's big. He hears a lot of great things about it. So you never know. Another first is about to come up, which is it's been I think 10 months since I actually seen Sonic in its entirety. After it was released, I kind of just let it do its thing because, long story short, it was probably the most exhausting period of my professional career.
It was terrible.
Yeah, we had a lot of technical issues at MagFest last year.
Too many technical issues.
I remember the day leading into it because of the issues we ran into. Fixing it up. We didn't sleep for 2 days straight before MagFest.
Absolutely not. And this year, we're going to have actual final images in it.
Well, anyway, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to do a live commentary as we watch Sonic for the first time in maybe 9 months. So I know there's a lot of things that I would do differently now, but we're going to watch it and notice things and have some fun and, yeah, enjoy it. What do you need? So where does this begin?
Oh, he's a non-profit.
Yes, we go through this whole
free public entertainment internal use only. The Sonic is fake.
I think you're going into Rift territory as opposed to commentary territory. But
Griffin, it's fun.
yeah. But I remember 2010.
2010. That's when I pulled out this baseball cap that looked like Sonic, and everybody went, oh, yeah! And we went,
Yes, the rather small room of collective gas. Because we didn't really promote our panel.
No.
We were just there because
we were literally,
street.
the Sonic announcement was literally one sentence in a follow-up on a report on some other site, and then it just blew up.
Yeah. So anyway,
Jaleel.
Yes. Jaleel, I mean, we're going to hear his voice later. He was an absolute pleasure to work with.
Yep.
It was actually,
as well as excellent acting.
It was very unsettling how nice and grounded he was, considering that he's Urkel. So
I thought I didn't know what to expect when that one before we found it.
honestly, my favorite part of this movie is the first 5 minutes, because I feel the narrative is the most cohesive. It's the most. It establishes a decent atmosphere. It establishes a scale. Of course, the one thing that I realized in retrospect, which we'll get into, the one thing I would do differently is probably ease back on the cameos. As cool as they were, I remember we were screening this last year, and as soon as Brent came on and James came on, there was a good reaction, but you know, it's kind of like, is it a good reaction for the sake of helping the film, or a good reaction for the sake that we got them in and people are more in favor of just their presence? But I would find a way to integrate them better.
Absolutely. My number one request in this movie was photorealism. And we tried as much as we could. I think we got it with the robots.
The robots, I think, look great. Sonic,
It beats Mega Man.
yeah, oh god, yeah. But I think the bigger issue was just kind of Sonic in the fur, which we'll get into when he appears.
That don't have furry characters in this movie.
Yeah. But I thought the opening was simple, it was to the point. I would probably, if I
Nice shot right here.
love
It just opens up the entire world.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Shows that there's like more than just the one ship in the game.
I mean, I remember leading into it, we didn't even talk about that we knew that there was one in carrier, and that's all we were going to settle on, rental floss. And
Yeah, that's great.
that's you. So yeah, I knew I wanted the shot of it passing by, because it kind of just shows that Robotic wouldn't go into one ship, he'd go into an army.
The fleet.
That grounds it a bit more. That gentleman right there, in the previous shot, is actually one of the gun soldiers.
Yes, that's right.
That's the back of his head.
Yeah, and then right after this, went into the recruitment office.
Movies.
Gun soldier.
I remember we shot all the green screen stuff in a 2-day period for this whole thing. A lot of great actors. I wish you were sick. Your Daniel, our partner, got involved and helped out in that case.
Various sources have
You were actually expecting that
the
it
was
was back.
orchestrated by acclaimed roboticists.
Oh no, I wasn't assuming a lot of the stuff. You put in a lot of great
Yeah,
tidbits.
because actually that CNN font, because the same font looks really bad. It's not just shaking.
Animal life on movies.
And then I have
They're
this.
still speculating what.
Oh yeah, the Light Industries logo. Essentially, our thought process is Mega Man and Sonic exist in some sort of the same universe.
Yeah, we're decades
I
apart.
am now.
Yeah.
Or a century or so.
I am representing.
Nintendo stock is way down. Lucor's doing pretty good. Look at that.
I kind of wish there was more Robotnik in this. I wish there was just a kind of, the movie was Sonic, Robotnik, and certain people scurried about, but I kind of feel it's like Sonic, maybe for like fourth of it, Robotnik for a fourth of it, and a bunch of other stuff for the other half. So,
You can only do so much in 20.
yeah. I thought a lot of the big concerns people had with it was that it wasn't a feature after a amount of time, and I realized shortly after, in order to up the CG on this film and to up the quality, it was going to take a lot more time than Mega Man did.
Just one little tidbit about the ships there is that last shot was like an homage to Empire Strikes Back.
Was it?
Yeah, that was original intent.
Take a step back and imagine.
Yeah.
It's like Darth Vader ship.
Perfect world. Wait,
And then
you just
the
kick back,
design was
you
actually
can imagine.
wanted some sort of way to keep the ship
And imagine seeing all that taken away because one blow came one bomb. Well, someone has to get all that back, and it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
how it got this way, and how I'm gonna make sure it goes back. Just try to
I
keep
feel
very
there's a lot of story elements missing. Because of the time crunch, there were certain things we had to delete that at the time I didn't think were necessary to the narrative that I realized were, which I'm going to mention when Green Hill Zone comes up. I feel like out of all the cameos, Doug's was the worst for one reason. Not because of him, but because I had him fall and turn to the camera, which kind of overstates his presence. Like he falls, turns, it's Doug Walker. I think the main reason I really like his performance here is and he mentioned it was for a guy who's known for talking a lot and being good with words and being, expressive vocally,
He says nothing.
nothing. And that's the thing, because I know for watching his videos and all that, he's a great actor. And I know he can do drama, and he can do... Yeah, and a lot of people caught on to that. It's just like, Doug is a good actor, so you gotta give him his props. Honestly, if there was one thing I can change about this whole movie, is I wish the introduction of Sonic, this shot here, was a little bit better. I kind of wish he made more of a spin, he did a little bit of jumping. It was a lot more expensive here. He's just kind of standing there stiff, which, I mean, is both an animation thing and also kind of just, I kind of wanted the Superman motif of him just standing there profound, but it's not Sonic. Sonic's a lot more animated, expressive, more in your face, so I kind of wish that was reflected a bit more. But yeah, next. That's the thing, it's just like this whole movie was kind of a wonderful learning experience. That's why, you know, I would do this whole movie again over multiple times. I would do this. A funny thing about this on a side note, we actually shot this cameo at MagFest.
We did.
MagFest 2011. We brought it to our hotel room. We're like standing in front of that green screen.
That was terrible.
Yeah. And I remember the funny thing was I was like, I asked him to take off his hat because he never takes off his hat.
Take off the hat.
Yeah, you were more stern than me.
Let's remove the hat, and then he wouldn't gel his hair. His hair.
He has a lot of, yeah, he has a lot of hair. Yeah.
He does, it's not bald.
That's what the hat's there for, is to keep it down.
Otherwise it becomes...
It's interesting.
Oh my god, this shot was a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
This is what we worked on this for 3 hours, this one shot. Just because there's, you see that robotic logo in the background there?
No.
That's green screen. And then we have fog in there and kick it.
Yeah, that's the thing. To 3 hours, like technically to chroma key a shot, on the average, this film didn't take 3 hours. And I think it takes a chunk of time, but not an hour, not 2 hours. This was significantly more involved. It was more involved than 3 hours. It was a 3-hour testing process that got it to work. We were doing a lot of work on this beforehand because there was fog in the room, and when you throw fog in front of light moves through it, it bounces around, it catches the green of the green screen, and next thing you know, you don't have a keyable green. So that's one of the big lessons of it.
Yeah, it was just trial and error. I can tell you how to do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a mess.
You were the doctor on this.
Yeah.
The amount of methods you had to go through in order to fix that green screen.
No! You goddamn monster!
I really do.
All of this will end.
I remember the scene was a lot more similar until we built the set, and then we wanted to get a little more ambitious with it.
Yeah, the last set we built prior to this for a different film, that was, what was that, 3-4 weeks? And that was much smaller. And this was like 4 times the size, and it took 7.5 weeks to build.
That was probably one of the worst professional, like...
Yeah,
there's
we were
difference
trying to
between...
go old school, where we only limited the green screen.
Well, that's the thing. This film was the most exhausting professional experience because it was so involved. But you know, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Building that set was horrendous because of the conditions and the hours. And we had to get that done in time to shoot with Nathan Barnett because he was initially going to be in that.
That actually did not happen, and that's when we came up.
Yeah, we weren't done by the time he got here.
Yeah, so since he was already coming and bought his ticket, he went and said, let's do something else. Let's come up with something. By the time he got up there, he had a script for
Metal Slug.
Metal Slug movie. And that is one of the better. That's just so much fun.
Now, one thing, because we touch upon it later on, is that I wanted there to kind of be more of a motivated story for Sonic's involvement in all this, and more of a motivated story as to what was going on in terms of the Chaos Emeralds, or Robotnik's involvement. And I feel everything kind of works up until this point. And then I realized that maybe, in retrospect, this film could have used an extra 7 minutes to elaborate on some of the points I wanted to make. Like, when we get to a scene near the end, it's probably my biggest narrative perturb of it. I realized that I kind of rushed it. If you want to do like a 10 or 15 minute type dealing, I feel like you should center around one single concept and one single sequence and build from there. And this was like literally packing the first third of a feature into 20 minutes, and the first third of a feature should be at least 35, 40 minutes. Now these, of course, are my favorite animated shots of Sonic in it, because this is is the most expressive he is. Our lead animator, Nigel, animated any specific shots of Sonic in which he was talking like this and being more animated. A lot of more of our funny shots.
I still want to know where he buys the shoes and gloves.
Yeah, I really do like how Sonic's render came out here. Like, I think the only thing is I fixed the alphabet, but I mean, I really did like how he came out.
Sounds like more coming.
Absolutely.
Also, I think, yeah.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, it was very important for me to try to be as realistic, like, textually as possible.
Of course, the one thing I did learn was that this whole concept, probably I would have done all in CG. Just, you know, like Pixar style, like a whole CG film. And I probably would have taken the fur away from Sonic, because for two reasons. Creatively, I like the fur, but fans are very iffy about it. I can understand why. But I think I didn't realize the rendering concerns with fur. So if we were to do a whole animated series, we would have to, like...
It would have to be all CG. You'd have to make compromises and still get the same style.
Because without the fur, a frame of Sonic renders it 1/10 at a time. So, yeah, the fur, and some fans had issues with it, and we had issues with it technically. I would say a lot of the rendering power was that damn fur. So people had a right to be angry, because I was angry with the fur for entirely different reasons.
If we were doing it completely animated, I would still cast people, like real actors, not just voice actors, but real actors.
You mean for
full actors.
For motion capture.
Do motion capture, yeah. So you mocap their face, like Avatar, basically. Every 30 minutes.
Now it was very interesting, because I remember we shot all of this stuff in like a half a day when we had our Steadicam operator.
Yeah.
This is...
Oh, I animated this.
Yeah, I really did I like the concept of just Sonic against something that poses a threat as much as just a heat-seeking missile. And I like how it all went out. Now, he flies up, I don't know that Man of Steel shot. He flies up, it goes into the ship and explodes it. Now, the one thing that you and I discussed, and because of time
control box is here in front of him?
Yeah, that box in front of him, he was supposed to put his hand in there, and like rewire the controls, and have that...
Or actually hack it like really fast, like if they on Star Trek hacks the computers.
That's more of a Tails job.
No, he was just doing random buttons to, just keypad for access codes.
Yeah, but the context of the film, it's more of a, you know...
You can do this speed best.
Yeah, that's true. That's the luckiest placement of a buzz bomber ever. And I love it. I wouldn't change it, but it's just like, Sonic would be dead if that thing wasn't there.
Or we could have Tails come in.
Well, I was assuming that he would find a way to airborne and, project himself into someplace safe. Either into water, but then again, some people think that Sonic and water are kind of just like a Charmander in water. It's just not flat, so. But
Sonic, can we trust him? We all know he's...
Now, there was a funny moment, which I hope some people didn't misinterpret, which was when Sonic's like, see something you like, and you're pretty and all, but that was, that was an obvious jab at 2006.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's funny, I find it funny that Sonic is not okay with, Hedgehog on human interactions. But some people kind of got the vibe that he was hitting on her, but he was kind of being, boy teasing, because he knows it's wrong. That's his philosophy of a Sonic fan. Him and a human don't mix.
For any information,
They can just be friends.
They can just be friends.
has been identified as
Maybe a drink, but go home.
the security photo
Pushing it, that's
on the outskirts.
Hey, that's an awesome shot, so just slow down.
You would assume there would be more motion flow now, right? I can't get over how good DJ Hazard is with Robot. And that's why I wish the movie was just more him and Sonic. Because they, Sonic as a character at his A game and this actor at his A game is just...
What we were doing was setting up
yeah, we wanted to do a whole series after this. Now, my big pet peeve narratively with this, upon retrospect and watching this, is initially right after this, initially, right before this, Sonic is supposed to be standing, watching in the distance as you have seen all of these egg carriers floating above the Green Hill Zone. And that's his motivation to go there, because he wants to investigate and see what is bringing all of Robotnik's attention to this little area. This is because Robotnik's instilling his plan of getting the Chaos Emeralds out of each of these zones, and that's the whole purpose of a zone. They're kind of zoned off. You know, you have Green Hill Zone. That's his little
Photoshop house.
Was that Photoshop grass? That was just no depth of field. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of my favorite moments, which we just missed hearing, was I love the orchestral Green Hill Zone.
Oh yeah, it's such an amazing presentation.
Yeah, they did a real good job on the score. Now, I can understand how some people think that Sonic's running a little too slow. I feel out of all the shots, this is where it suffers the most. I would have had him running faster there more, but it's kind of me wanting to get more visual flair. And here's the most controversial part of the whole thing. Is
Here it is, here it is.
Knuckles the Echidna, God.
Oh, it is Knuckles.
Yeah, that's why I hesitate to say Knuckles, because he's got fingers.
Fingers are not Knuckles. The reference is supposed to be the claws. That's what it's called, Knuckles. So I stylized his claws and then just didn't have time to get them.
In retrospect, it's funny because they announced Sonic Boom, and one of the things you notice is that
he has fingers, and Sonic has quills. So yay, Sega!
Yeah. Well, they did that with the. Well, you don't know that, but then again, I read the Mega Man Archie comics, and there are scenes verbatim taken from the fan film, which are not in the Mega Man lore at all.
The trailer for the comic book was basically a trailer for the movie.
I find that hilarious. I think it's coincidental, but you never know. But yeah, in retrospect, I would not stick with the fingers. Not because creatively, but mainly because there are certain things where as a filmmaker, you can just go full-blown creative, but there are times in which you have to listen to the source material, and this was a good gauge of how fans would be about this. Like, if they were that agitated with fingers, I wouldn't give them fingers, you know?
Imagine if Sega did it.
Yeah, imagine. Can we up the house lights? All right, so what we're gonna do is, this is the Q&A portion of our, yeah, we did good. This is the Q&A portion of our little shindig before we go into the future of Blue Course. I don't know if anyone has any questions regarding Sonic, Mega Man, and anything else we got going on.
Or how the weather is.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Basically, since you Mega Man, you spoke about you wanted to do like more Mega Man in the future. But you said that you like to do, I remember one back fest, you were talking about Mega Man, you said you like to do Mega Man X. So you actually thinking about doing that Mega Man X, or you just like...
What are your thoughts on that?
I would, personally, I enjoy the original a lot more in terms of story, because the other one seems more like too much cop drama and not enough personal, you know, like, more of a...
The music is better.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's not even good.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we had resources to do a 5-minute like Mega Man X pitch, I'd do it.
I wouldn't say no to it. I just prefer the original because I just enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I mean aesthetically, I'd love to do a Mega Man X because I feel it's kind of more, not more my taste, because I think the original concept of Mega Man is
darker.
It's just interesting to do Mega Man in a whole new light as opposed to what our film was, which was very, very, you know, light and frothy and just kind of. You have the Dark Knight and you have the Avengers. I feel like X would be the Dark Knight and our Mega Man was, you know, the Avengers. You have something light and, you know, flashy and fun, and then you have. Honestly, ZX I think is not as there's a certain threshold where when you're a fan filmmaker, if you can do something justice, and I don't know if I can do ZX justice because I'm just not 100% into that as much as I am chronologically. Classic Mega Man, Legends, and Mega Man X. Legends I'm really into. I was a huge fan of Legends when it first came out, played it to death. I was a huge fan of 2 when it came out. I followed what was going on with 3, and you know, the unfortunate demise of it, and you know, the future of it. I think it would be more realistic for me to make a Legends movie more than a ZX, but I don't foresee in the future that I would take on Legend just because I'm so enamored with classic more so. And then aesthetically, X is just something that would be fun to play with, but then Sonic was, you know, something that, Sonic is, you know, my second favorite game franchise, even though Sonic 3 Knuckles is my most favorite game of all time. Collectively, I'm more of a fan of Mega Man, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the bee's knees. So, you know, Sonic was kind of an experiment. Mega Man, I feel, is more akin to what I am in terms of classic. Anything else would have to be another Sonic experiment, which I don't know I would do. Any other questions? Yes? Oh, boy. It's just kind of production things that just become kind of second nature, which is we gave ourselves a complete timetable of what we wanted to shoot and how long. And we knew we had a certain window in which, okay, it would make more sense to shoot Doug here, because there's more downtime here and we can fly him in. There's much more sense shooting James here because we'll have the downtime to drive to, you know, where he's located. Makes more sense to do Brent here because he lives in the same city as us, so it makes sense there. And, you know, so on and so forth. So it was a matter of just location, accessibility, and it worked out in a weird, you know, hierarchy, which was we tried to shoot everyone who was closest first, everyone who was furthest last, and ended up in the last cameo we shot was Brent's, because he was just so easy to do, because, you know, we live in a decent proximity of him. So.
And you said yes.
And we said yes. But that was about it. It was location, time index, time period, and then we just made the time. Any other questions?
That was the last segment.
You for the Knuckles cameo?
Yeah, that was from the beginning.
What's up? That's the thing. We were in the terms of the narrative. He has, and this was going on over the whole issue I had with the third act, which is I wanted to establish certain motivations, and Knuckles does tie into this whole story I wanted to tell. But that's the whole unfortunate thing about doing a 20-minute movie, which I learned, which is when you rush things, certain things will be lost. And an arc that I wanted to introduce with Knuckles was, you know, kind of lost there, and it just looked like a shooting cameo. But we had big plans for him.
Oh yeah.
And you were
architect of the, well, not architect. What were you saying?
Oh no, the Chaos Emeralds and everything is more tied to him.
Yeah, the Chaos Emeralds are directly tied to him, more so than anybody else.
And the whole, you know, line, you know, you don't know what we're rolling for is tying to the fact that he's more aware of Robotnik's plan than Sonic.
Yeah.
He knows Robotnik's plan,
yeah,
which assumes that.
Well, he also believes that Robotnik is a good guy in Sonic's bad guy.
Oh yeah, in context of, you know.
You have that whole thing and like Sonic is trying to convince him and all that. And you have that whole arc that needs to come about.
And we feel, because he seems more tied into the beginning of this whole story, we felt he was not necessarily more important, but more essential to our story to introduce first before Tails. Tails, we feel, would be like, if you did a trilogy, Tails would be a very essential part of part 2. Knuckles would be central in, you know, 3, but in the first one, Knuckles would be central, but he is there to start something that would start a grand scheme of things. So that's where that decision came from.
Yeah, he's like the Nick Fury of the band.
That's a stretch. No, I can understand that, though. That's good. Any other question? Yes?
You have a lot of violated the Mega Man movie, and you were talking about how much you really like Robotnik and Sonic. What's your favorite villain in the game or movie?
Favorite villain in a movie, I would say, and it's really weird because it changes from time to time. Like my top favorite movies of all time are, you know, Ghostbusters and Blade Runner. But I would say the two primary villains in each of that are my favorite villains. I would say my favorite villain of all times is Hans Gruber from Die Hard.
The best Christmas movie ever.
I would say so. Because that's just a villain that's so delicious is a bad word, but he's layered without being so cookie cutter. Even watching the movie now, he doesn't seem cookie cutter because there are just certain nuances about him that just make him a lot more interesting, and he's so smart. I still remember the scene, first time watching it, when he changed his voice when he was talking to Bruce Willis, and took his name from the index that was on the wall. And something that simple is like, a lot of bad guys would overlook the details. He has every step mapped out, and he intends on getting out of this alive. And that's why I love Hans Gruber so much. But my favorite video game villain, it's probably Wily, just because Mega Man is just more of my franchise for so many reasons, and Wily is, and my whole philosophy on a good villain is a good villain with a motivation. And if you build Wily up enough, based on the canon of Mega Man, the fact that he's getting shunned for these wonderful accomplishments, you can understand 100% why he would have such an ego trip and he would be so frustrated and angry at Light to this point. Robotnik is just kind of like, I want to take over the world. So that's a stretch in Sonic, which is you have to motivate him. Wily has his motivation, so I prefer Wily. In the terms of the films, it's a complete tie of the two, the two fan films, because for some reason, despite all good points and all bad points, the good thing I'm happy about is I have two good villains. So I'm grateful about that. Thoughts, Dave?
As for me, movie-wise, I would have to say it's a draw between Biff Tannen and Biff Tannen is so stupid. He's so evil. He's a stupid villain. But a genius villain at the same time, just because he's like...
Look at that whole almanac plan. Something
oh my god, yeah, but it took him 70 years to realize that. And Darth Vader, because that first time you see him, everybody talks about the first time he walks on screen. But it's like the only time besides Biff, that this guy is the villain. It's just the entire black getup, the face that doesn't even express anything. And it's just, and he's got all these people just like, listen to him, just no matter what, they don't question.
Fear him.
Fear him with every.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because Doug touched upon it, which Doug Walker touches upon it in a lot of his reviews, is a villain can walk on the screen, and if you know he's immediately the villain, then it's kind of weird and forced. But then there's times in which you do it with such oomph and such presence that it works. Because there are times in which it works. It's all a matter of execution. Next question. Yes.
You played the Sonic Lost World game at all, and what do you think about it, and actually the DLC?
What was the second one? The DLC? Oh, unfortunately I have not. And I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and completely play with Lost World. So I have probably a premature thought on it. It's weird because the last Sonic game I ever played, completely was Generation, which I loved. And then the movie the movie came out, and I kind of took without even noticing, a mental Sonic break, because my whole 3 years was Sonic. And that was just like, oh, I'm Sonic'd out for a bit, so I just kind of subconsciously took a break from that. One of my to-dos for like January, because now I'm in vacation time, is I got a lot of games to catch up in. Number 2 is Lost World. So, number 1 is beating Last of Us, which I'm very far in, but then I got a lot of work and I had to put that off. So, right after that, jumping right to Lost World. Any other questions? Yes?
So, a couple of episodes ago, you were kicking around some ideas for alternative sequels of Mega Man. Is that still in the cards?
Yes and no. Mainly because our whole, and we were going to mention this later, is like we have, in 2014, we have other priorities, but our most ideal situation is to do the web series.
Not Mega Man 2 web series, but like a reboot of what we had done. And
I
start fresh and with better budget.
Yeah, that's the thing is the lack of experience at the time and the budget was the two things I felt that held back the initial Mega Man. It wasn't even shot in HD, so it's kind of hard to remaster that. But I feel the first goal would be to do a season of the first game again, with a lot of the weaknesses finessed, keeping all the good stuff like Wily, and then, you know, change it up roll a bit, just to make her a little younger, make Mega Man younger potentially, and then go into Mega Man 2. We have a whole story for Mega Man 2. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to tell us those ideas.
I remember them. No, it's just, honestly, if someone gave me, and I bought a lotto ticket 3 weeks ago, and amongst the first things you think about is like, I'm gonna fucking, pardon my French, I'm gonna fucking retire at this age from whatever the hell I'm doing, and just make a bunch of these. Any movie I want, and one of them would be Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2 back to back. Or just go right to Mega Man 2. Who cares? I have money now, so that I can just do fun stuff that'll entertain people, and you know, that's awesome. So if I had endless resources, I would totally do Mega Man 2. I don't know the certainty of it now because we really want to do original stuff, and Capcom seems to hate Mega Man. So getting the license for them, unless we buy it from them once they go bankrupt, is the most logical thing, which it's not really a stretch at this point.
It's not. They're losing money like. Yeah, it's like 85 now. I heard 115, and that's not even anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to.
Are you not a movie?
I mean, I've been hearing that all day. So. But that's where we're at. Mega Man 2 is still an uncertainty, but unfortunately not likely. All right, that's 7 more minutes. We can take some more questions. Yes?
Speaking of Kickstarter, what are your thoughts on, like, if you wanted to do, say, Mega Man 2, would you go to Kickstarter, or have you ever thought about Kickstarting any sort of future project, or you just kind of want to stay away from it?
I'm fine with Kickstarter. I mean, the first few times you used Kickstarter, we're just kind of getting our bearings with it, because it is a responsibility, because as soon as you get donators, you're responsible to appease them and do all that. So we're getting our bearings, but I know I would go only to Kickstarter for the absolute most important projects. My biggest fear is you have all these people donate, and if Capcom has a wedge up their butt, they see this making money, they pull it down. So that's my big concern about that. I'm fine with using Kickstarter for like original ideas. Like I have original idea, he's got an original idea. We're throwing Kickstarter most likely this year, and it's a fantastic resource. So I mean, I'm totally down for using it. But for anything fan related, it's a stretch unless we have some sort of permission and the resources. Like if someone just threw us the resources, here's $1
million.
$1 million, you have a month to do something awesome. With $1 million, it's a push, but you can do something in a short amount of time if you pay people. Paying people on these last 2 films was kind of, not fully realized because we don't have all the money in the world. And we had our own fund drive for Sonic, which essentially went to, yeah, we did. That was mainly to, finish off the movie, but the resources on either of those films were still limited.
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts on it. Any other questions? Yes. What about did we back it? By the time because that's the thing, it was like it came out in a weird period where I really wanted to back it, but it was too late at that point. I was kind of late to the party. Yeah. And it was like, I'm currently doing a lot of work with a CW affiliate in Manhattan, so that takes up a lot of time. So literally, I had to I found out this about Facebook through postings, and I'm catching glimpses, you know, every once in a while. I'm like, this looks great, this looks great. I gotta donate to this. I gotta do this. I'm going to donate to this. It ended. Wow, I made that much. So, in retrospect, I really, really wish I could have given a nice donation to that, because it's such a fantastic idea. Any other questions?
One more. What was the most hardest, by either Mega Man or Sonic, what was the most hardest thing to film? It was like, to me, it looked like it was like Sonic was like all the animation and stuff, but there was some stuff in Mega Man that looked like, I don't know, like that took like, you know, 25 hours just to edit or something like that.
Dave can answer the question for me. What was the
worst part of making a film is Sonic. Sonic himself, just the fur, like we said before, the fur is a mess. It's so much geometry for the computer to handle. Even if you play tricks with it and only have like every 10th hair actually come off the body and just have like a JPEG underneath to make it look like it has a depth to it. It's still a lot of geometry because every frame, that hair now has to interact with wind or just with the motion of the body. So it's like it has to react with physics. And you have to have all the calculations for real-time physics in the computer, and
it's rendering.
So much rendering. It's
yeah.
So much ridiculous.
So, but I couldn't have said it better myself. Sonic. Honestly, shooting Sonic was not that hard. Not hard because I mean,
what was it, 5 days?
Well, collectively, I mean, that's if you combine everything because we spread it a lot to get the cameos, to get inserts, to get all this other stuff, to build the set. I would say a lot of the time the 3 years took was from the beginning modeling Sonic, testing Sonic. I would spend one day and I could shoot a majority of this movie. And then I would go on and spend 8 weeks straight, literally. You can vouch for this, and so can he. Continuously, 14 hours a day. In that 7 weeks, I probably have 2 shots rendered because of all the issues he wrote that rose up from Sonic throughout that whole process. So I can't say either movie was difficult to shoot. There were difficulties, but not too outlandish, but Sonic was a nightmare. He himself was...
And that's also why Knuckles doesn't have any fur.
Yeah, because
we just couldn't get that shot out.
Knuckles. I called it a day. So we're about... What's up? Ah, thank you very much.
That was actually... It had to be redone 2 years before the release.
Oh yeah, because there was many issues with the shot.
Rigging and whatnot. And just
technical issues everywhere. Unbelievable. And that brings us to the end of our panel. So if you want to ask us any questions post-panel, I'm going to be around. You grab me, anybody, I don't care. You just talk to me, ask me any questions.
Ask me questions.
Ask him questions. So yeah, thank you very much for coming. If you're interested in any t-shirts related to Blue Core or Sonic or Mega Man, we have catalogs. You would have to go online and order them or submit a form, but they're there. You can grab one as we're packing up. But thank you very much for attending our panel. And unfortunately, we didn't have time to talk about the future.
The future is grand, and it doesn't look like anybody else is coming in at this moment, so let's take 2 minutes.
Long story short, I want to do a female superhero movie.
I do too.
Starring this female superhero of a minority, because I think it's bullshitty that there are no female superhero movies out there right now, and there's really no excuse for it. I don't care what Cartoon Network says. And what are you doing, Dave?
I rewrote a retelling of the Telltale Heart from Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes!
There you go. There's my supporter. Shame on all of it. No, I'm just kidding. And so that's actually in pre-production. Actually, no, it's still in script phase, and hopefully I'll get that done very soon. And yes, I will be using Kickstarter.
Yes, we both will be. Thank you very much for attending the panel. Have a bitchin' day.